444. I think this is the shot right here. Be in frame. I don't even know how to start this video. Oh man, when I think I'm just gonna try to flow. And yeah, I'm just gonna do my best to flow. I didn't know Panic personally, but I feel like on some sort of collective consciousness, he felt like a part of a family that I didn't have in the physical. And I just want to almost emphasize how much respect I have for him and people like B.o.b, his queen, and really anybody that's on this journey. It's getting a little bit deep for me to say, because after I watched his Blue Moon reality video, the same thing happened right before, like a year before I lost my grandma. The types of words that he started to use in his videos and and not only that, but the way I started to feel about the things he was saying, because I only really came back to his live streams. Huh? Oh no, you're good. The types of things that he started to say in his videos, I started to notice the same thing that happened with my grandma. I had this like gut feeling. It was actually, let me go to what my cousin said. My cousin said there's this thing that activates within you. Like when you start feeling like it's almost like your time to go or your time to move on, you start feeling like you've accomplished everything here. And in his Blue Moon Realities live stream, I noticed when he said he feels like he's pretty much done everything, there's nothing he's trying to see. I felt this growing up, and I'm only 23. I felt like I'm only here to get something and then leave. And it was crazy, because after that live stream, I literally went to my roommate. I went to her, and I went to my brother from another mother, man. Love this dude. And I literally said to him, I think Brother Panic's on his way out. I think he's going to leave. And it's the same thing I tried to tell my family when I knew my grandma was going to die. I started getting visions. And the same thing happened. And it's literally yesterday, as November 1st. Again, I was watching B.o.b and Brother Panic's little live stream they did on the Bobcast. And I started watching his lives again. And I felt that feeling again, because I started watching them with my roommate, and I told her, dude, like, I'm worried, and I don't got to be worried about him. He's a spiritual giant. But, and I think that sense of worry in me was like, I knew what we'd be losing, but that he'd be much, much more powerful wherever he's going, to that energy we could work with now. And it's just like, I don't even know what to really say on that, because it's just like, it's the same thing I felt about my grandma. Like, after my grandma made the transition, I would smell her scent when I would ask to make certain decisions I wanted to make. I would ask. I'd be like, "Hey, Grandma, what do you feel like?" Like, when we traveled out to Minnesota, we drove out to Minnesota, and I ended up canceling this Airbnb and wanted to get another one quick. And I was like, all right, I need my grandma on this. And I said, you know what? Fuck it, I'm gonna just send it. And I got an Airbnb. And when we stepped into the Airbnb, I smelled patchouli, and that was like her scent she would always wear. And I even asked the dude who ran the Airbnb, yo, do you know about the scent patchouli? Have you ever had like a girl who had this kind of scent that I smell when I walk in the door? Nothing at all. And I knew, and I had that knowing that was my grandma. So I know that he's definitely operating on a level that's way higher than, a way more useful energy to us than being, basically restrained by the physical. But it still feels like I lost literally someone who thinks like me. When I first discovered Brother Panic was, I think when back in was it 2018? I think it was 2018, 2017 when I really started to awaken to a lot of this stuff. And it was like I always had this sense as a kid, though I was really young with it. I think around like 14, 13, I was always questioning like why I was here and what my purpose was and everything. But then 18 was when it really started hitting, where I was doing plant medicine work and really seeing crazy shit like showing me how everything is synced up and lined up in reality, and just crazy experiences. And also I've had like the small one pleasure of talking to B.o.b. one day, like asking him like, yo, what really is this? And he ended up answering me on Instagram. And that's why I just like, feel honored that in that moment of time, in that span of time that we got to speak to each other, he really helped me a lot, recommended me a book and everything, and I got to it. And that's why, that's another reason this video is not on my main channel, because I decided to move on and go create other things with now truly knowing what, creating things in existence is for me. And same for like all the work Brother Panic did, man. I watched him, and there's something I want to talk about too, but basically that little tangent I went on is him and B.o.b. have been such an inspiration, and like the love that they have for, like the women in their life, and seeing the sorts of students Panic has, and just knowing that there's others out there like me, because I feel like in my own immediate reality that my brother is really like the only one. And I think that's kind of why I feel like after he passed, man, I'm a sap at times. I grew up more like I grew up raised by women, and that's why I say like I'm more tapped into my divine feminine, but I'm also really like I wear my heart on my sleeve sort of thing. And then I've come into my masculine a lot more now, but I feel like that side of me was really started to work its way in and come in through, just the absolute power I seen from people like B.o.b. and Panic, and also that sense of truth. Growing up, a lot of people, I'm trying to tie this into how real I feel like Panic was, and never getting to meet him, but I could go on about these dreams that I've had where I feel like I've literally talked to them in the astral plane. But it's a lot, man. I mean, like I woke up today, and I literally, as soon as I seen the video, I went to go tell my roommate, and she saw it in my face. I immediately started to cry, and I said immediately that it felt just like my grandma. Like I knew immediately that he was going. I knew that he was leaving. And I know I'm going off on some tangents, but I'm just trying to flow. And honestly, I can't even convey how much respect I have. It actually, like, when I heard today, like I'm sitting here literally like thinking in my mind, I know it's got to be a knowing. I'm like, dude, I want to make it out to Atlanta for this event. And I just really owe, like, man, dude, it feels like this guy, man, that I did not even meet, thought and felt on such a similar plane as myself that it was just amazing. There was a little thing about my cousin that I wanted to talk about the other day that kind of upset me about something that she's in, but I realized why it bothered me, and it's just this whole thing. But I know I would talk to her about Panic a lot, because I was like, yo, like this guy really stands for truth, like for you knowing your own truth. And that shit was so powerful to me, because that's like naturally I feel pulled to always preach to people that. And I don't even mean to be preaching, I just drop the gems, but I always felt like that. And there was a kid in my life before I was really into doing like the conscious work and know thyself and really doing the work, who he told me that I stopped, like, I saved him a little bit. Like, I don't want to ever take that credit, but I saved him from committing like a bad act, I'll say server side for YouTube purposes, but and when I think about Panic, like that's why I feel such that connection, is like that's how I feel. Like it's almost like I don't want to say I made, but I want to say like something in me, I guess, made that kid realize his own power. And that's all I ever want to like live for ever. If I'm ever saying a message, it's like I feel the same way. Like B.o.b has the same message too. You know, I'm not your leader. Don't follow me, but really do this work for yourself. Like, you know, to wake up that small amount of people that may be just stuck here or whatever it is, or just going through this school, man. It's something else, man. I knew with the language he was using, that like it was this feeling that shifted in me, the same feeling I got with my grandma, that he was going, man. And I was like, damn, bro, like, you know, good for him. Like, yo, he like good, he did it. He did it. That shit made me feel like I got the inspiration to make this video immediately when I heard it. But I could not help but shedding tears, because it's just like in the physical, I know like I'll never get to meet him. So, man, it's just a little bit crazy. You know, it's just the thing with my cousin I want to explain is that the other day when me and my cousin got into a little thing, I brought him up, and she tried to say, it's crazy how you've been like listening to Panic for years and learning all his teachings, and she really hasn't seen our energy change much. When I'm out here dropping videos talking about people I've literally created to come in my life, money, experiences, and it felt like a real negative tone. And she tried to tell me that I was getting really personal about it, or I'm taking everything personal, but in my own consciousness I didn't feel that way. I was like, no, it feels like it's mostly her projecting. And I remember just the things she would say about Panic, that she doesn't really rock with him. And I was like, that's fine. But I'm just saying, the thing he like, to me that felt is through his work, he only lived for you waking up to your own truth. Like he lived for himself, but his work lived for you doing your own shit. And I just feel like there's a lot of motherfuckers in this game that I try to talk to her about that are running around trying to sell you shit. Like, everything that I seen Panic say is everything I felt and believed before I even knew who he was. I was like, yo, it just feels like a bunch of, you know, people in this for some sort of monetary gain, that they're not naturally doing this. Like they're never gonna get on a video and tell you. And that's what hits me when I feel like that's what we lost in the physical, is like, you know, but again, what we lost in the physical, we gained cosmically, bro. Like, he's a beast. And really my best, any energy that I can send from me and all the work that I've done on my side to his queen, to B.o.b, to his sons, to everyone over there, just yeah, I don't want to say anything else until it's done, because, you know, I worked up some money and got to Cash App him one time, and I said thank you in the Cash App. But I definitely will, you know, fuck saying it till it's done. I'm about my words. I'm gonna send money if I don't get to make it there for the admission. I'm still gonna send over for the honor of like what he stood for and what his work stands for. I just personally don't feel like there's a lot of people who ride for truth. There's a lot of like masters in this that I respect, and a lot of work I've seen, but nothing was quite like Panic's, for the reason that I felt like he really stood for you waking up to yourself. Like, and one thing that stuck with me from him, that I literally was saying before I knew who he was I'm trying to literally tell you you're a divine being, and you're getting offended at that. That is the craziest thing, and that's what I feel like, to me, was the embodiment of his work. Is it was raising your own frequency, bruh. Like, screw what everybody else is talking about. Raise your own frequency. Take what everyone's got and try to make it your own. Like, even with manifestation, I've got techniques that I've showed people that were my own through what I've learned from everyone, and a culmination of everyone, and then adapt it to your own style. And I feel like that's what he lived for. And you just don't get that from a lot of people. You just don't get that. And yeah, and I think truthfully, I'm just at that point where it's just like, I rarely listen to any of these other guys, but I think just now, just with all the hours and stuff that he left behind. Like, I'm just gonna take that and run with it, and it's been working anyway. So I never knew what my cousin was talking about. It's just yeah. But I'm very glad to have been in this experience again, because everything feels deja vu and like it's looping to me. That, you know, we got an avatar like him down here doing this shit. Same with B.o.b. Same with his queen. Everyone on in their reality. I'm really glad, because he really did do numbers for my life on figuring out what this was. Because I was at 14 questioning what the hell I'm in. Like, why do I exist and what do I exist for? And then, you know, I got the inspiration before I knew who he was to even start talking about this. And, you know, again, I've got on my main channel, I'll drop it, Lunar Was Lost. On that channel, I have like videos and stuff and things where I've showed like people saying like, you know, thank you, like your ideology and the way you think has gotten me through hard times. And I'm glad, because, you know, like I really hope like in my video I'm making this clear. I hope like you're feeling me here, that the reason like I push the way I talk and what I drop is the same reason, is for you to wake up to your own truth. I really just always want that for people. Oh man, dude, it feels weird, man. It's crazy that like I could get like this for a dude I didn't even met, but it's only like a couple other people in my life that made me feel like that. And in this same when he transitioned, felt the same like when I knew my grandma was gonna die. There's one other time where I sensed this happening, and it was I had a dream right before Pop Smoke died too. And I don't know why, but it was the same thing. Like I seen him in my dream, and then the morning I woke up, I heard the announcement. And same thing here. My grandma was a bit like years before, but same thing for Panic, man. I knew. I was telling my roommate, I was just like, yo, after I watched it, I said, yo, I think Panic's getting ready to go. I think he's done. I think he's left what he's left, and that's it, man. And you know, I really felt, I almost like, I don't want to say I felt for his students, but I felt for the ones that, you know, he was really talking to when, you know, because I feel like when you're a master teacher, or you just got a message to spit to everybody, that bits and pieces are going to resonate with different people at different times. And there's going to be, when you say certain things, you're going to be speaking to a specific section of people. And I just feel like that specific section of people that he was calling monkeys really, you know, honor his work now that he's gone. But I would see it in his face, man. Because I remember when I would do certain videos, like literally showing people that this reality is staged, I'd just be telling people like, yo, I hope y'all are really getting this, because I feel like I'm doing this for no reason at times. But I always felt a pull to come back and talk and break these things down. So I was like, fuck it, dude, fuck it. So, you know, I felt that monkey business. Hope I did my video justice to honor him. I don't got any more to say, man. I'm gonna move on now. Let him go fucking, boy, I'm not gonna let him do anything, but he's gonna do his shit, his cosmic shit. But, you know, let myself dude, I respected this guy so much, man. I think I got, like, if they end up going through his Instagram DMs, I remember when he was getting a podcast ready and I DM'd him to speak. He didn't answer. I decided to send the attempt anyways, because I just want to talk about the cool things that I brought into my life using my own techniques based on what I learned from him. Thank you everyone on his side, man, and thank you to him. And just, I think that's it. I think I'm good. I think I got it out of my system. Peace.